And boom, we should be live. We'll just wait for the lag to stop so we can check audio. As usual, Heathers will probably get it first, as it were.
Not always.
Oh, mine's... No, we've got it. Right, there we go. We're sorted. Good evening, Jen.
There you are.
You enjoying the lovely weather that we're having? Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Doesn't help me a lot because it makes the bloody lawn grow.
Got some beautiful dandelions.
Yeah, it's looking more like a fucking paddock again, isn't it? Good evening, Marines.
Evening, Jen.
Well, it seemed that the heat is spread quite unevenly around the country because although it's been quite warm here, you know, we're not getting like the East Coast and whatever. We seem to be just sat in the middle of it all. Been lovely today, but with wind and rain. Yeah, we had a couple of quite heavy showers actually a few days ago, but they only lasted a couple of minutes. But it doesn't matter how bright or sunny it is. There's still that grey.
You always know.
Mist in the air, like as it were, the haze. Scar, good evening, mate. Well, things have been changing around, haven't they? With the shit shower in the House of Power. Some quite big U-turns. Obviously, one we know of that was absolutely forced. He had no option but to say that they're going to do an inquiry, but it should be an independent one. They should not be running it. Maggie Oliver is one that a lot of people are saying would be great, but I think she's... Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I think she would be a bit biased simply because she's campaigned and whistleblown for a long, long time. So, in fairness, I don't think she should do it. But there you go. That's just my opinion on that. There'll be varying other ones. And obviously, the other big news that they're using to overshadow everything is Israel and Iran. Which I don't put a lot of content out on because I'm not fucking interested. If they want to go ahead and bomb and fucking kill each other, get on. Who am I to say you can't fucking do it? But it's what Tories are a disgrace, and then they moan they did nothing. Yeah, I mean, I did a video yesterday, but I didn't post it because I did it on my phone while I was waiting in the car. Yeah, it's... They seem to forget that it was happening on their watch as well, and all the way through it. And they virtually did nothing. You know, if one got caught banged to rights, then yeah, they ended up in court, but that was about it. Nothing was ever investigated. Those that were being investigated were just dismissed, and the victims belittled. So yeah, the Tories have got to take some of the blame for it all. But yeah, you know, I mean, things behind the news, things that these two big stories now are up front, but there's lots going on behind. Like I've heard a lot on Russia and Ukraine lately. Maybe that war's over. I don't know. But there's a lot of lower bills that are being pushed through Parliament behind all this that aren't being widely publicised for obvious reasons that will become apparent. They want to change the Equality Act. Now, basically, the idea behind this, Flyby, good evening.
Karen, hello.
Yeah, exactly, Flyby. I mean, she ain't got a clue, mate. Where was I? Yeah, the bill's going through the Equalities Act. Now, if they got that through in what they were saying, the way they were saying, they will control even more so what level of services you get. This is even down to benefits as well. They'll be able to pick and choose who gets the most funding, and they will base this on whether you live in a ghetto, whether you live in a nice area, how much money you got. Sorry to hear that, Gary. You know, you can guarantee who's going to get the most support if they push that through. It's just another way of controlling people. The other one again, the digital ID. But it's changed its name now, hasn't it? Before they wanted to call it the COVID passport, the Jabby Post passport. Now they want to call it the brick card. This is things. Well, I'll get to the relevant point in a minute. And another one they're trying to push through is giving lower ranked civil servants the right and the ability to dive into your bank accounts, see all your transactions, see what you're spending your money on. And they would then have the powers to do all this without a warrant, which means they can do it for pleasure. They'd probably get done for that if they get caught. But yeah, they want to know what you're buying, how much you're spending. Good evening, Moo. Now, you put that together with the credit scoring and the fact that the banks are already stopping people withdrawing their own money, not small amounts, but you want to make a purchase of a couple of grand or 2.5 grand, 5 grand or something. You actually have to justify yourself with proof that you're buying this purchase before they'll give you your own fucking money. Well, that to me is just out and out blackmail for a start. But yeah, you've got to justify what you're going to spend your money on. Otherwise, they won't let you have it. And in a few cases, we know of not just celebs, but other people, they've actually took accounts off them, frozen their money. Now, as I said, this all points towards the digital ID, i.e. digital credit scoring. Now, they're already sneaking in facial recognition cameras. There is a bit of a legal issue going on around them in supermarkets and things. But diving into your bank account, to me, that is just a total invasion of your privacy. And if you look hard enough, I wouldn't be at all surprised it's against your right to privacy as well, financial privacy. Get a warrant to have a look in there. I can understand if the police are investigating a case of fraud, but the government themselves, they should never be allowed to look in there. JW, good evening, buddy. But this is what I've been warning about for many years now. you see all these little things they're trying to do, all the little things they're putting in place. It's all for a reason and all heading towards a goal. You know, you add them all up and they stop becoming little things, then they become major issues. The one that makes me laugh about this is the government's excuse for wanting to bring digital ID in, the brick card. They seem to think it'll help control illegal immigration.
Yeah, nobody able to forge a copy one. Never.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. What they're going to do? They're going to go on the beaches and fucking hand them out before they get on the boats. Oh, when you land, you show this. You'll be absolutely fine. You know, you'll be accommodated with somewhere nice to sleep and stay. All your meals cooked for you. Your heating, your Wi-Fi. They'll even give you a new phone. It will also give you protection from deportation should you commit some sort of crime like robbery, rape, violence. It'll give you protection from that as well. So that's the brick card. Well, literally that is just another part of the tool. Yeah, and TV license. Jan, well said. That to me is oh, excuse me, I'm going to have a bloody sneezing fit now, you wait. That to me is all the little pieces when they come together. That is literally the totalitarian, oppressive, draconian regime installed. Because as soon as that comes in, they put all the bits together. There's an act, boom, we're in, we're done with you. And they got total control of your life then. But and this is why I say always look behind the main stories, because that's where you'll find these little bits. You know, unless you want to sit there all day watching the House of Commons to see what they're saying. Some people do actually do that. I don't. I will go and watch it for the relevant debates, but that's about it. But oh yeah, good evening, Resist. He's usually in the background there, all right, mate. All the other lurkers, the good ones, the bad ones, the indifferent ones. And Lil Stitch. What's been going on there? So Gary, what's been going on with you? You said you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, you also said you'd be in the background, so.
Okay, that's fair enough. So as you know, I don't concentrate enough on the text when I'm
if you
sort
want
of
to
got
come
notes.
and fill us in, Gary, tell us what's been going on. By all means do, but if you just want to sit back.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to sit in the back there and listen. I've got one person who watches, whether it's through work commitments or time differences, I don't know. But he always goes back. He never comes into the live stream, but he goes back and watches it a day later or that night or wherever he is in the world. And it's quite amusing because sometimes what he'll do, I'll have like 20 comments from him under the rerun of the live stream. And what he's doing, he's watching the rerun and then putting his point of view or asking a question as it comes up on the thing. And he has come up with some very good points. You know, but like I say, everybody does things differently. If that's the way it's easier for him to view the channel, absolutely fine. I haven't got any problem with that at all. Yeah, see, that's another thing being hidden behind the smoke screens, as it were, isn't it? Has anybody heard any more on the rent boy arsonists, or alleged rent boys, I should say? The model art and arsonists. That is a hard one to put together for me. Yeah, there's been absolutely nothing about that out there. Yeah, JW, he's got a 2-week ban and he's on 2 strikes now. So the next one, he's gone. He's been refunding the ticket money for the live shows that he was going to do. And yeah, he's getting restricted everywhere. So I should think, being as he only served half his sentence and they let him out early, they've put some pretty heavy restrictions on him. Obviously, one would be he's not allowed to talk about the people he was jailed for stalking, which he will find very hard to do in front of a live audience. You know what the idiot's like. So, yeah, he's lost quite a bit of his income from his social media and live shows now, apparently. I mean, I never bothered with the idiot. As far as I'm concerned, he could stay in there for the whole fucking 5 years. But, yeah, he's nothing but a grifter. Good evening, Karen. Oh, yeah, wonderful. Not my King Charlie, old Chubby Fingers, is going to have anything to say about this over the grooming gangs. You know, I'm not saying he knows anybody, but there is a bit of an alleged, you know, there is a bit of an alleged connection with that sort of thing and his brother, which was going to be my next words out of my mouth.
Told you we think the same thoughts at the same fucking time. Don't moan at me.
You know, I mean, he goes all around the world partying with the natives, you know, putting on these shows. It's good for the country. How's he going to handle this embarrassment for the country? Because if it was my country, I'd be fucking embarrassed about it. You know, will he have a say on it? Yeah, we do, Jen. We're like that, even when we're off camera. But,
yeah, we've got to the stage where we're finishing each other's sentences. Thank you.
Yeah. And obviously behind all this going on, there's record numbers still coming across the channel. Apparently they're giving the French police new powers. They don't come in till the end of the month, which will allow them to wade up to 300 yards from shore to stop them. But the smugglers have changed tactics. The actual immigrants aren't bringing down their own boats now. The smugglers are bringing them in just slightly offshore where they can wade out or swim out, get on board, and off they go. And the French can't fucking touch them. You know, there's plenty of new videos out there of them just stood on the beach with their hands on their hips. There is one of a French copper stood in the water, probably not much higher than knee deep, with his shield, his riot shield, his helmet, all his battle weapons around him. I thought, fuck me, if you slip and go under, mate, you ain't never coming back up off the bottom with that lot strapped to you. Yeah, no worries, Gary. You look after yourself, mate. We have been missing you.
Take care, Gary.
But yeah, and that's just such stupid. Cal Rayner stands up in the house and says, "We've got control of our borders." Have you fuck your dozy bin? You've got anything but. Now, I thought because Starmer handed over the power to her while he's at this ridiculous G7 meeting, you know, where they discuss the next stage of our oppression. Apparently, he's still maintaining that our economy is growing and interest rates are coming. Is it fuck? Yeah, but yeah, she took over the reins while he was gone. He actually handed over power. And the first thing she did was call a cabinet meeting. Nobody's actually said what this cabinet meeting was about. But there is a theory knocking around, and it is a theory, that she was trying to entice them all to put in a no confidence vote in Starmer and install her instead. Well, sorry, Labour, if you do that, you already resigned to the history books, but that ain't going to help your cause. Yeah, exactly, mate.
I don't think she hasn't got a constituency anymore, has she?
No, she's likely to lose it, I think.
No, I think she lost it.
Did she? Oh,
I
well.
think she lost it and hasn't actually got a seat anymore.
Well, there you go. She should be able to concentrate and give more time to Parliament. Then.
No. I think that means she can't be Prime Minister.
Yeah. That French done with all the money. Well, mainstream media keep quoting the 500 million that we give to the French, but we actually gave, I believe, 2 lots of 500 million to the French to stop them coming. And all they did was went out and bought things like drones, extra body protection and shit. Good evening, Hunter. And so to make it easier, using tech to watch them leave the beaches rather than stop them. But they won't. You know what the French are like. They'd rather them come here, and they'll help them come here in any way they can because they don't want them there. You know, it's the EU. All on the countdown wine. Good evening, Steve. Yeah, it's the French have got no interest in stopping them. It's not in their interest. You know, they get complained at by these Care for Calais and whatever your fucking groups, or we know who funds them, but they criticise them for destroying the camps. Well, the idea of destroying the camps is to force them across the channel because they're not going to go back the way they fucking came. Far from it. Ooh. But yeah, well, you know, this debacle with the grooming gangs, I mean, they had to be forced into it, as I said, but with the way they've reacted to it, with the denials, the pushing of blame, especially that evil fucking excuse for a human being, Jess fucking, what's her name? Phillips, is it? She should be thrown straight out of fucking Parliament. In fact, she should be thrown out of the fucking country. She's just a horrible, horrible piece of shit. She had the cheek to stand there and say that she had been battling for these young kids for the last God knows how many years. Yeah, that's why you voted down on the fucking inquiry, wasn't it, you? I mean, I I really want to see, first of all, I want to live long enough to see the conclusion to this inquiry, because it's not going to be quick. It's going to take time, as I've said before. But I want to see how many police officers, either serving or retired, how many civil servants, how far it goes in government, how far it goes in the council services, the care system, the protectors. I want to know how far it's going to go down in there, and I want to see how many of them end up in front of a judge. You know, as I've said, the police have got rid of one or two in the last year or so. I believe this has only been done to try and quell the masses. Look, we are doing something. But there's so much evidence now that was probably presented to Baroness Casey, and that's why she made her decision, that implements these people. As she said, she doesn't feel she has the power to make a decision because of the levels of it. And I will want to see every single one of them prosecuted. I want to see them live in front of the bench, in front of the committee, squirming, the little ring pieces puckering as they get caught out on everything they say. That's what I want to see. Yeah, that'll probably be the outcome, Tony. Welcome, by the way. I hadn't seen you in the chat there earlier, if you were. But this is the thing, isn't it? And this is why the government should not be involved in this investigation, because a lot of them will be implemented in it. Likewise with the police. But the police are running their own investigation alongside it. So basically what they're going to do now is they're going to investigate where they can cover up more to try and make themselves come out of this a bit better than they should do.
They need to know who to throw under the bus.
Yeah. Let's get rid of a few bad uns before the inquiry kicks off. Well, that ain't going to get work because it's a public inquiry. It's a national inquiry. Any fucker can be called to testify or be a witness. So they won't get away with that shit. It's... I mean, did you hear that arrogant little shit Khan, the dictator from London? It's the first time I saw it. I was watching a video where he was being questioned by what looked like the Select Committee. It was in one of the rooms in Parliament anyway. As we know, the MPs get to question different levels of people, and he was one of them. Did anybody else see that? With his answer to the question on grooming gangs. Tell you what, let's... Boom, 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 boom. Oh, no, I want that. Made smaller. It's that one.
Alright, let's do this.
Right. Let's see if I can get this right. Oh. Let's move it out the way I did.
Have they not still got the Vendy bus then, though? We can't make sure that was taken out of service because it wasn't his idea.
Yeah, I'm not concentrating on the thing at the moment.
I know, I'm just trying to fill in the silence.
Window is that one. Share. Right. Well, this is, I believe, the London Select Committee. You'll have to tell me if you can hear the audio on this. And the question was asked what he knew about the grooming gangs. Was there grooming gangs in London?
This question last week, and you found every which way
Right.
but not to answer it. Just
Can
how
you all
many
hear the
grooming
audio?
gangs have we got in London?
What are misunderstanding? Can she define what she means by that?
Yeah, but it's
Yes,
quiet.
if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people
See
taking
if I
young
can
girls,
boost it a bit.
grooming them for sex. That is what I'm talking about.
We know in London that there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford, and lots of other places in the country?
Just for
Are you
what's
saying that?
misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If she could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's a sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
He is such an arrogant little shit. And that's how he answers every fucking question in those sort of fashions. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. No, I don't know about that. How is he still the mayor of fucking London? He is, Stitch. He's an absolute tosspot. Yes, JW. I mean, old Charlie missed the fucking perfect opportunity there with the old sword, didn't he? Many of us wouldn't have missed it. But yeah, I mean, the way he's failed and coming out with shit like that, and he gets a fucking knighted. It just tells you how far down the fucking pan this country fucking is. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. You know, it's like all of them. They get rewarded for failure. They get rewarded for causing fucking conflict. And in some cases, they get rewarded for persecuting the fucking public. Yeah, via Traitors Gate, Karen. Bring the blocker back into action. Oh, wouldn't it be nice, Khan, the man in the iron mask?
We've got to put Starmer in one as well, though.
Well, yeah. Or the noose. Yeah, that's...
No, you put the pair of them in a cell. Can you imagine the conversation? Neither one of them can answer a question.
Oh, you can't convict me and send me down. I don't know what that is. Fucking prick he is. But yeah, you know, he's probably worse than Starmer and the shit. You know, for the arrogance and not. I mean, Starmer tries and deflects the question. This idiot, he's just refusing to answer, basically, with what he said there. You know, it's hard, really is, when you run a channel. Yeah, I mean, I don't do many videos, but the amount of shit you have to sit and watch and listen to get what you need, it's... I mean, we got the vote, is it this week, on the disability cuts, with the disability allowance and that. No idea which way that's going to go. There's so much pressure on them not to do it. But as we know, they like to kill off the old and the sick, don't they? And that will take a few. Tell you what I did watch the other day. There's a video on YouTube. What's it called? The most evil torture devices. You know, going back from medieval times and even earlier. Oh, I could use a few of them right now. Yeah. Be like Starship Troopers, we can go back to having public executions. Mind you, it'd probably be a all ticket pay event now, wouldn't it? Something like that. You know, you're going to watch an execution, but there'll be security on the gate to search you to make sure you're not taking any weapons in to do the person any harm. Yeah. Oh dear, I shouldn't say things like that, really. But I mean, now Jeff Taylor, I dare say most of you know who he is. Very good channel, in depth, very well presented.
I'm not the snooker player.
No, that was Dennis Taylor. Now he has got a theory, which I don't believe is much of a theory. I think it is more likely to be fact. Now, he has said that all these cover-ups over the years have been organised and coordinated. And I'll give that as a quote, because that's exactly what he said. And to be honest, yes, it can't be a coincidence that they all covered up the same way, the same things, all at the same time. From all parties. The government, the police, the care system, the councils. You know, there's no other way it could have been done and kept for this long, considering the amount of people, the amount of space it's spread over, because it's all over the country, and the amount of services that were involved. There had to be some form of coordination there. They had to have been speaking to each other. Take that as food for thought. Well, the one that's pushing himself forward for London Mayor at the moment is Ant Middleton, isn't it? He's ex Special Forces or SAS or whatever. Now, you know, he is a patriot. He is a big lad. He is covered in tattoos. But he's saying the right thing, you know. But is it that they're just pushing him forward to get Khan out? Because the only way that Khan will get back in is through the Muslim vote. Now, we know the Muslims are more or less the biggest majority up there now, or down there from here. But is it going to help him? Because everything he's been doing affects them as well. Will it spur those that didn't vote into voting with what they've done and what he's been doing? You know,
Still say if they narrow the candidates, they're more likely to get somebody in.
well, the thing is, you know, this is how he got in exactly the same way that Labour got in, basically by default, because
He
there
got
wasn't enough.
20% of the vote. There were too many other people.
Yeah.
The vote got spread around.
But if Matt Middleton's the only one going up against him, I reckon he could take it, to be honest.
Oh, there's every chance that Dickwad won't stand a chance.
Yeah, he's like a little dwarf, any Jen. I mean, any fucker could knock that little wimp out. Bit like Starmer. Do you see that video of him punching that punch bag in a gym, doing one of his PR stunts? The fucking way he was hitting it, he wouldn't know how to throw a punch to fucking save his life. He literally could not fight his way out of a paper bag the way he hit that punch bag. Even in my ill health, Jen, I'd quite happily get in the ring with him and Starmer. Because I'd have enough energy just for them knocking they two out. But it's you know, they stand in Parliament, they lie. They've lied right from the fucking beginning. Now with this going on, with the grooming gangs, basically HS2 ain't going to happen anytime soon because that's run out of fucking money again. How are they still in power? You know, the Tories were brought down for a lot fucking less. And all his Labour bods behind him, oh, we're going to bring him down, we're going to do this, that and the other. Well, instead of just complaining to him and giving him silly fucking questions at PM's question times, put the fucking letter in. Get him out. Not that we'd be any better off with anybody else from Labour, because that would happen if they removed him for no confidence.
But there might be somebody lurking in the background.
Well, it don't matter where anybody comes from now, JW, does it? I mean, just look at the ones that have got seats in Parliament and fucking knighthoods. Doesn't matter where you come from to get anything now. Yeah, moo. Unless you stab them in the eye with a pen first. Yeah. I mean, what else are we running there? Oh, yeah, there's that one in there as well. But no, I'm really surprised. I mean, any other half-decent monarch would have fucking stepped in and put a stop to all this shit. But we're back to all the new fear factor again, isn't it now? You know, they've invented powers that be. They've invented another variant. More fear factor. You know, there's been, 5 or 6 different variants now that they tried to start a panic over. Nobody's panicking simply because people know the truth now. Nobody's complying other than the hardcore sheep, shall I say. You know, taking all these, the new wonderful jab that can cure everything, even though they don't know about what they're going to cure with it yet. But we don't see any politicians racing to get any of these ones in front of the cameras, do we? Muslim variant, yeah. Well, they are like a fucking rash, aren't they? But, I mean, surely, according to them, you know, all us purebloods, we should be dead by now, apparently, with all these variants. And all the other ones, you know, monkeypox and shit like that. But it's the name that they've given it. The Nimbus variant. Well, straight away, everybody knows Nimbus is a name, I believe it's Greek, for a cloud or a mist, a fog. Maybe that's where this new variant's coming from. You know? You know, are they dropping subtle hints with the name?
A nimbus is a glowing light that encircles someone or something. A shadowy figure in front of your car's headlight Might have a nimbus around.
Well, I've never heard that one. But yeah, you know, they every time something starts to come out, they're putting these in there. I mean, they plaster it all over social media. I mean, I've done very well, actually. I've got 2 appointments with doctors made today. I've openly told them, if you're going to keep sending these fucking invites to have this jab, that jab, whatever, I said, I'll block your fucking texts. I said, the only text I want is to remind me of my appointment or that I've got an appointment made for me. And for the last 5 months, I've had their number blocked because they kept fucking sending them. Even though I complained to the manager of the surgery, I said, no, I said, it's staying blocked because I don't want them texts. They're annoying. I said, I've got enough on my plate. But I spoke to a doctor, when was it? Was it Monday?
I
Or
don't
yesterday?
know.
That I've got an appointment with this Monday. And he said, what about the texts and that? And I explained to him, I said, well, I'm unjabbed. I've no intention of being fucking jabbed. I'm untested and I've no intention of being fucking tested. I said, but I keep getting these annoying texts through, make an appointment for a jab. I said, and I get pissed off with them. I said, they won't remove them. They won't stop sending them. So I blocked them. I said, so it forces them to write me a letter or actually ring me and speak to me. He promised to see what he could do about that, but so did the last 2 doctors, so I don't hold up much hope. But you survived the sober variants. I'm on 3 shots a day. But yeah, I mean, it's only the hardcore sheep, those that have got their faces glued to mainstream media and are blinkered to everything else. They're the ones that are on the uptake of it all now. I think the last one they issued, or the last time they did the program, there was only about 5% uptake, I think, or even less than that. No, that was it. They'd bought in enough doses for 5% of the population. That was it. So they knew that the uptake was going to drop drastically. You know, there's people that even now, although again, that's another one you don't hear a lot about, there's still unexplained deaths. You know, still people dropping dead on the sports field, in the street. Kids as well as adults. But, yeah, they just keep pushing and pushing that fear factor. You know, the fact that it doesn't really frighten anybody anymore. We've been there, we've lived through probably the worst one there's going to be. Although most of us knew we would. But again, it's all like 15-minute cities, which they're still trying to push for. Fucking hell. It's all about the control. It's all about this dystopian future they've got an idea of. I'm on Linctus for my throat. That one was in a hurry. We're on the main police emergency route for out that area of the countryside.
From
of the
over
village.
there to over there.
And you hear them coming down there at 1, 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, full tilt. And you hear the big thump as they hit the fucking speed bumps.
Because it's 20 miles an hour.
Can I do that with a fly swat? I'm a bit more advanced than that, Jen. This is why the the fans going in the background there, because with the lights on, during the day we have the window open, obviously, but with the lights on, we've got so much vegetation out on the patio, what with loads of plants, weeds, and stuff like that. You just get fucking inundated with flies and midges and shit. And I keep meaning to get a mosquito net for the window so we can have the window open, but I haven't got round to it yet. Make note.
It'll be winter before you do.
I know. I mean, I've got one with the little top window in the bedroom. I've got that covered with an old bit of a fly net, as it were, a fly screen. One I used to use when I was camping, but I need to get another one. I was going to bring something else up then, and I fucking forgot what it was, where I went on to that. Oh, my memory is getting... Yeah, the health is not very good, but I'm getting a lot more looked into now. I mean, I've got... where are we? That one today... No. Yeah. I've got another appointment Monday, and I've got vascular ultrasound on Wednesday next week. Then the beginning of July, I've got my venous section, and I've also got an appointment now for physio. And I've got another one booked for August. And there's still other appointments I'm waiting to hear from. And these aren't appointments I've asked for. These are ones that once the doctors send me, have said, we need to look into this. I've been waiting well over 5 months for the physio one. That's to do with my arthritis. But everything is, it just, I don't quite know what's going on. I mean, I get out of breath real easy, as you know, with the COPD. But with that, once I get out of breath and start breathing, I start to get pains across the top of my chest. And my heart starts racing. So they've got to look into that now, because they believe it's a bit more than COPD. Well, I know it is, because my lungs are scarred up to fuck. So, all right, Jen, take care, sweetheart.
No, Jen.
What are the spiders going to eat, Stitch? Yeah, well, that's another thing. That not so many mating flies. There's not so many flies all told, Stitch. I mean, this time of year, prime hatching time with the change in weather. And you used to come home after a couple of miles up the road in the car, there'd be flies all over the headlight, all over the windscreen.
We've just got a spider's web all over the window.
Yeah, we just got a spider's web all over the mirror. I must evict that little bastard as well. But yeah, I mean, the insect population it just seems to have dwindled.
They've learned not to fly over roads.
Well, the last couple of years, we've ended up with wasp nests under the tiles up on the roof. I haven't seen any up there this year yet. But there again, with the dose of fucking shit I squirted in there last year, I very much doubt they'll ever come back.
They reckon,
Yes, Scott.
They reckon if you've got an empty wasp's nest, not to remove it.
Yeah, because the others won't build that.
Yeah. Finish my sentence for me.
There's another bit of useless information. How do you get rid of an ant's nest? If you've got an ant's nest in a flower tub or a flower bed, how do you get rid of it?
I cook the damn fuckers with kettle of boiling water.
Most effective one is find another ant's nest, dig that up, place it on top of the original ant's nest, and literally overnight, every ant from both nests will disappear.
I quite like my kettle of boiling water.
I quite like using the flame. Yeah, there is that, Hunter, and you know I've got to take a certain responsibility for that for myself. But my problem was the scarring from the fire and the heat from that. But yeah, the smoking didn't help. I mean, the vaping, I'm just about done with that now. It's only when I'm sat talking like this, it's because it's in front of me. But yeah, you know, the smoking hasn't helped. Plus, I worked in tanneries where you're using what were cancerous powders at the time, apparently. Powders to mix in with the liquor that you tan the leather in. And they're as fine as talcum powder. We used to use 100-weight bags of them, no masks. Good evening, Adrian.
Evening, Adrian.
Same with acids, hydrochloric acid. You know, you good whiff of that, you're on the floor unconscious. Just the fumes will burn your throat. And then moving on from that, you got all the dust associated with working on building sites and the like, you know, using grinders, cement dust.
Probably asbestos.
Yeah, and obviously with the roofing, years of cutting just with a scraper with like a diamond edge, the composite tiles, slates, which were a certain percentage of asbestos. So it could be any number of things. But yes, I will admit the smoking didn't help, shall I say. Yeah, they hibernate, JW. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, you end up like me, Moo. A broken, grumpy old git sat in the corner. Yeah, I mean, my sleep patterns are all over the fucking place again. I've been getting bad cramps in all my fucking muscles. Oh, it was definitely fun, Stitch. Definitely fun.
What, sex and drugs and rock and roll?
Yeah, man. Not preferably in
Bit
that
of
order.
jury.
No, I've always said I've always lived my life how I wanted to. It hasn't always been good, but I did it my way, as the song says. Yeah, I'm paying for it now, but you know, I wanted to have a full life. I wanted to experience lots of different things. I just didn't want to get into a mundane routine, well, which I've ended up in now, basically. But
You can fuck off if you want to.
no, thank you. Yeah, but I wouldn't get very far. It'd take me a week to get to the other side of the fucking town.
Take you 3 weeks to.
And that'd be without carrying anything. Should we all go clubbing? Yeah. The size of some of the clubs now, Moo, I probably wouldn't even get as far as a dance floor, let alone to be able to do anything on it.
I haven't been clubbing for about 25 years.
Karen's having a shower. No worries. What are we doing? We've been going an hour. Oh. Tell you what, let's have a bit of a. Oh, I'm fucking sweating here, man.
You're not the only one, love. It's warm
Shall we turn the lights off and sit
in the dark.
sit in the dark and just be
The
voices in the
electric
background?
bulb does not create that much heat.
Let's
You've
have a
got the
laugh.
fan It's
Let's
just
put the link to
warm.
the link to
Oh, we're
the.
going to have guests
Yeah,
tonight.
let's see if anybody wants to pop up. I've been through all the main news rather than me just keep sitting here yapping away. I just got to remember to keep my eye on the back room now to see if anybody does come in. But I presume Paul and the guys from Pierce and I abusing their powers haven't been on. Last week and this week, I think they've got their hands full over there in Ballymena at the moment. He's covering a lot on of it, posting videos. You know, if you want to go and watch some of them, subscribe to them. There's a link in the description of most of the videos. I don't put it on the live, but he's doing a lot of coverage on that. It came up as device not connected. Oh, there we go. Good evening,
hello,
Kat.
love. Good
Hello.
evening, sir. How are you?
Ellen.
Oh, it's fucking too hot.
Well, to be honest, I just said to Heather, I said, I'm starting to get a bit warm now, but that's only because literally we've had the window shut. You know, we don't want all the bloody insects coming in with the lights on.
Oh, nah.
I've got the fan on number 2, so I've got 2 more settings to go on that, I think it is, or maybe 1.
I've got mine on. I had to turn it down. It sounds like a fucking jet engine. It's a big square one. I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah.
It's not a fan. It's one of them other ones. What they're called?
Air conditioner.
Air
That's
conditioner.
it. Thank you. It's not doing very well.
We got that big pedestal one there.
Yeah.
I used to get them from the hospital because the slightest little thing wrong with them, something bent, they'd throw them in the skip. 5 minutes later, I'd be round fishing the fuckers out and bringing them home.
Fucking why not, love?
But
Money in your pocket.
since I gave up work there, I had to go and buy a new one. So,
They were getting a bit noisy.
yeah, the ones we had, they were. One didn't even have a cover on it.
Thanks,
I
Nathan,
bought
then.
that one and one of the smaller 16-inch ones. And then we bought another 16-inch one, which we either have in the bedroom at night, because we do get hot in there. This house is terrible for the heat up there. And then during the day, Heather will have that one in the office because the lead reaches. It's in the bedroom by the side of it. But even in winter, sometimes I'll have to have a fan on in the bedroom and the window open.
Yeah. Same.
I suffer terribly from night sweats and.
You sure you're not in the menopause, love?
I changed a long time ago.
I'm still going through mine.
Right from the minute I realised what fun I could have in life.
Oh,
That's when I
did.
changed.
Oh, Jesus, don't.
I think your internet might be breaking down a bit there. You keep disappearing and then coming back and freezing.
Yeah, I
you
think it is. Yeah, because sorry.
You on a phone, are you?
No, I'm on the tablet, but I'm at the very top of my house. It's got an extra bedroom built into the roof, so I'm stuck up in the rafters, you could call it. Don't ask why.
No, we used to have that issue up in Cumbria when we go up there for the 10 days convalescing every year, and Wi-Fi wasn't the best. But the second year, the friend of ours that owns the cottage, basically, first minute we got, I've made sure we got decent Wi-Fi in for you this year.
Oh, bless.
So I was able to live stream from the cottage when I wanted to, process and post all my videos. When the electric
God,
was
yeah.
on, that used to keep going off. But
I thought you kept
But,
running to the countryside there.
yeah, it's not that far from civilization, but far enough away where you
That's
can
what
be
we like.
secluded if you want. You
Mm.
know, you walk 30 yards down the road, 40 yards down the road, you're on a beach. It's a pebble beach, mine. The tide goes out a long way.
Oh, stop.
But that will be 6 miles of virtually deserted beach.
There is sand there beyond the pebbles.
Oh, yeah, there is some sand there. And you might see the odd dog walker, the odd fisherman, or, you know, someone from further's just parked up in one of the little lay-bys and have a walk along the beach. And that's the thing, there aren't many lay-bys along there. They're only little pull-ins. So you can't get too many people there at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we face across the Solway. It's Scotland. If we look to the left, when the conditions are right, we can see the Isle of Man.
Oh, even better.
And yeah, it's just it's a bit windy most of the time because you're facing that North Sea, basically. We're quite a way up the estuary. But and it's funny because of the wind and the fresh air up there, I breathe better up there.
Because the air is cleaner.
Yeah. I breathe better. I sleep better. I sleep twice as well as I ever do here. You know, it's...
I know that feeling.
So do I.
Eh?
So do I.
Yeah. Well, the bed's big enough that we can separate further, isn't it? That's the thing, because it's one of them queen size.
I've done one better. I've got my own bedroom.
No, I've got to admit that they are very comfortable beds and quilts and that, and it is easy to just... Even I can get comfortable in them. But and the other thing is, because I toss and turn and stir most nights all the time, my body's constantly on the move. It doesn't affect Heather as much because she's got more room. I can move around without disturbing her.
Yeah.
And I just seem to sleep a bit better. I don't know why.
It's probably the
You
fresh
off,
air,
Hunter?
Alan.
Take it easy, mate. Cheers for dropping in. It is a bit of a slow one tonight, I'm afraid. I'm not at my best.
Who is? It's
video.
too hot.
Well,
How's Karen?
No.
How's Karen? How are you, darling?
Oh, I'm fine, honey. I'm just bloody hot and bothered.
I think we're all like that. If I take my shirt off to cool down, they're only going to throw me off as displaying nudity, and they all look. There's a nipple on display.
Sweet, I won't say no.
I've seen it from the inside, and it ain't much better. Believe me. No, I mean Monday. Literally, or was it Tuesday? Whenever I did the last video, might have been Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I wiped myself out, just putting it together and doing it. Absolutely wiped myself out.
That's not good at all.
No, I mean, I've got to be really careful now because I'm normally dehydrated anyway because of my blood condition. But with this heat as well, I've got to be really careful because heat stroke or overheating with the risk of the blood clots and everything else. And the breathing as well, that especially. You know, I know I didn't have any problem last year with it, but yeah, I've got to be really careful of that. England 1-0 down. Why is there a football game on or something? I don't follow it.
I think it's the women's football. Women's football tonight with Germany.
I don't follow any ball games.
No.
All I follow is motorsport. I don't follow rugby, cricket,
Oh
any of
yes,
those.
rugby
Football.
definitely. Football, I don't
I-
bother. Unless it's the World Cup, and that's about it.
Well, I haven't been bothered with football since I was at school. I played for the local youth team, the county team, whatever it was at the time. But no, it just wasn't for me. And I had to cycle around to all the villages to go and play because my dad was always off somewhere else taking my brother to football.
Oh Jesus!
But in fairness, he did play professionally. He used to take him backwards and forwards to matches and take him up for his stay up there in the week for his apprenticeship. And he played for quite a few teams before he wrecked his hamstring.
Oh Jesus!
He,
It's easy enough done.
Or he trod in a hole on the beach in Portugal. Went over for a holiday at his villa over there. Apparently, he was running down the beach, stuffed his foot in this hole, and snapped a tendon in his heel or something, and that was his football career out the window.
Oh Jesus! That's not good at all. Easily enough. Oh, fucking hell! I've got to move and stick into the flipping couch.
I mean, yeah, he hasn't done too bad. He's retired now, and he's 4 years younger than me. You know, he's a very good businessman. He had quite a lot of businesses and properties and stuff like that. So he retired. Yeah, he's 4 years younger than me. But I haven't spoken to him for probably 2 years now. But yeah, that ended his career. My dad used to play. He played for when Oxford United were called Headington United. He used to play for them. But no, ball games never interested me really. I did a bit of athletics, the throw-in sports, as I said before. Bit of javelin and shot and discus. I wasn't allowed to do any games. Well, I wasn't allowed to do any running because I was born with a hole in my heart. And
fucking hell,
and I had a shadow on my lung as well. And the doctors banned me from doing any energetic sports at school.
You're a walking disaster, love.
Yeah. I mean, apparently I nearly died when I was young. I didn't know until well into my 30s that I had pleurisy as a kid.
Oh, fucking hell, Roger. Fucking hell.
My mum and dad never ever told me until I asked about it. I said, well, look, they keep bringing these questions up every time I hurt myself and go to the bloody hospital. Is there anything that I need to tell them other than the heart and the shadow? Oh, yeah, we nearly lost you. I think I was 4 years old. Had pleurisy. Was in hospital for a month. As a kid.
Fucking hell, it's all good. Yes, Moose, scratching ball tournament.
Yeah, I've had the usual shit, chicken pox, measles, and that sort of shit.
I never had them. I still haven't got them.
All right, and JW, no worries, mate. I think that this heat is affecting a lot of Wi-Fi around the country. It could be this fucking sunspot thing or whatever it is they reckon we've had as well today.
Oh, fucking anything. Everything and anything.
Well, they were saying it could cause power outages and shit like that. It never has before, has it?
My feet are turning into balloons.
Yeah, my feet are swollen today.
Put your legs up, Mrs. W.
Well, I can't undo this.
No, that's true. Yes. It's a bit difficult, love.
If she puts the front of the chair up, the computer's out of reach.
Fucking hell, girl.
Possibly do it with it round to the side. But...
Put it on your lap. That's why it's called a laptop.
No, laptops are not designed.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
Laptops do not go on your lap.
Oh, dear. They don't. No, because you need air getting to the vent, don't you, underneath?
You got it.
I always use that little stand thing.
Why do you think I bought that little stand
Yeah,
thing?
it was yours, wasn't it? I liked it.
I might use it now, but I don't know where you put it.
It's in my bag with my laptop upstairs.
Well, there you go. Then
There's one of them. Because I have trouble if the keypad's totally flat.
So do I.
With my wrists. So she bought one of these plastic tray things that sits up. It's got the ledge to sit it on. And
Oh, yes. Yes.
and dancing. I took one look at that. Oh, that's fucking handy. We'll have that.
Yeah, men would. Men do that all the time. I'm having that. Yep.
And there's poor Mrs. W up there trying to do her job with a laptop. And she's got the bloody thing on a pile of books and all sorts of things. You know?
Oh,
Jesus,
Jesus.
on the laptop stand
I'm like,
that I nicked from the last place I went. Well, they told me to go out, so I kept everything I've got at home.
oh, yeah, we do have a good laugh here.
Oh, why not?
So, and it makes it worse because I can go up and annoy her anytime because when she does work, she's working from home.
Oh, you little shit.
Well, some days I'll totally forget that she's up there and I'll sit here rattling on to myself. And she'll come through the door and I'm, Jesus, where did you come from? Like, you know.
You know? Oh,
I mean,
dear.
I keep on about one of these days when we're having one of our funny evenings or something, is just turn the camera on and the mic and leave it running for a few hours. You know, go back and pick anything out that's out of order or whatever.
That'd be funny, yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh, because when we go up Cumbria, especially for the motorways, I always have a camera in the window of the car.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't got a proper dash cam, but what I've got is a window mount, and I put a sports camera up there. Now, they're good for 4 hours filming the resolution I use. So if anything happens, you're not relying on a collision to turn it on. It films and records everything.
Very good.
So going up there one year, because it doesn't pick up the sound very well inside the car because the microphone's on the front. So what I did, I used another mount and I put my phone on there, filming us with a microphone hanging from the sun visor. So we had 4 hours of footage and us talking absolutely bollocks, slating everybody, everything. I was going to do a video, you know, this is our trip to Cumbria. And I started watching the video and I think, well, I'm going to have to edit that out. I'm going to have to edit that out. I'm going to have to edit that out. And I was only 10 minutes in and I thought, fuck this, I ain't even going to bother.
No, honestly, no point, mate. Fucking hell.
We were slating everybody. We were calling Dan names.
Oh, fucking everybody. We just went right into it.
Oh,
Taking the piss out of everything and everybody.
oh
And then
why not? It's good to have a good rant.
The killing the cat size, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, musical cat song.
We were growing up there, and every time I sort of moved out to the middle of the road a bit to overtake or whatever, I kept hearing this. What the fuck am I doing? Am I running over rats or mice or something? Well, apparently, these new cat size, when you run over them, they squeak.
Oh shit!
So if you continue, if there's nothing else on the road early morning when we leave, I move over a bit and all you hear is you going over these cat size.
Oh, they've got sneaky them fuckers up there.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Now, every time the road's a little bit quiet, he goes over to see whether the cat's eyes squeak or not.
Oh my god, that's
I'd have a job explaining to the copper why I was weaving all over
No.
the fucking road. Like, I'm just killing a few cat's eyes, buddy. You're all right, mate.
Oh,
We were looking for musical cat's
Oh.
eyes. You what? What are you doing,
I'd never heard them
Yeah.
before. Apparently, they've been around a few years, but until that time when I run over some, I'm like,
That's new to me. I wonder if they've got any in Ireland.
well, the thing is, on the motorways now, you can't move fast enough to do anything like that anymore. All the speed restrictions. Well, they're still on about bringing in pay per mile. They've been chatting about that again.
Yeah, I've seen that and I thought, what a piss take again.
No, I don't think that'll happen. If it does, it's a way down the line because
it is. That's it.
But the thing is, if you're driving vehicles off the road, the country's just going to grind to a halt.
Of course it will. Yeah, you're gonna fuck it up.
And this is the idea of 15-minute cities. You'll be able to walk everywhere unless you're disabled.
But the only way, realistically, of doing paper drive is to put it on the fuel. If you put it on the fuel, you hit the wagons, the businesses, and that would bring this country to its knees. We're there already, but
I've always said this about the road tax long before I got not interested in politics, but involved in watching it, reporting it, and actually taking note of what was going on, because I never used to. I was always of the impression was scrap the road tax. You put fuel prices up, not massively, but up enough to make a difference. And that way, it is perfectly fair for everybody. If you've got a small economical car, you don't pay as much tax. If you've got a big gas guzzler, you're going to pay a lot more. A small car does less damage to the road. A big car does more.
Yeah.
So proportionate paying like that is a hell of a lot fairer than the way they're doing it. They did do it until they changed it. I've always had that opinion. I've always had that opinion on it. It's simply because, and as we've seen now, and we know it happens, the road tax basically goes to the councils and government maintenance and shit like that. Well, we know it doesn't go anywhere near paying for what it's supposed to, which was originally the maintenance of the roads. It's diverted. It's diverted elsewhere.
Of course it is.
But exactly. Businesses get fuel tax relief, so they're not penalising businesses too much. But you still have to pay some, obviously, because you're using the roads. But exactly, Scar. I mean, if you think. I'm going back over a few years now with what different governments have said. Not that I heard it from governments. It was like reading papers and newspapers and shit. If we'd have carried on building the power stations that they had planned, and if we'd have carried on drilling the oil and the gas in the North Sea they had planned, we would be, with the so-called green things they got in place now, Britain would be self-sufficient in power.
Oh yes, but no,
but
of course not.
They totally fucking destroyed all that.
And
now they're trying to
do it everywhere, love. Oh Jesus, come here. It's going to take you over.
They actually destroyed that infrastructure. It's none of what they're doing makes any sense. Well, it does if you follow the WEF agenda, but
oh yes, darling, don't start me on that one. Fucking minders. Everything I thought was coming true.
But Trump already threatened to pull out, didn't he?
You did.
That was fucking right up. That would. Same with NATO. When he said, if you're not going to play the game, we'll just pull out of NATO. Fuck you.
Fucking go for it. Not doing my fucking papers now.
The United Nations is a waste of fucking time.
Of course they are.
They just falling in line with Europe. most taxis run on red diesel. So do most transits and everything else, if you can get away with it, at the moment. That's why they started doing the road tests again.
Yeah, tractors. I might have to dig up my dunking cart next.
I had an old, many moons ago, in my early motoring years, I actually had what was called an Austin Gypsy. And the Austin Gypsy is basically like a small Land Rover. Diesel. And of course, working on the farm and shit, I'm not paying for white diesel. So what I did, I put white diesel, about half a tank in the tank. The pipe was blocked off and sealed. And I had a 5-gallon barrel in the back of it undercover full of red diesel, which was actually feeding the engine. So they came and dipped the tank when they caught me one day on the road for a spot check. And pumped the tank out. Yeah, white diesel. Yeah, no problem. Well, I got away with that for about 2 years.
Jesus, fair play.
And then we ripped the engine out of it and put a Rover V8 in it, and that never was safe.
Oh, Jesus. See, you fucked it now.
Little 1300 diesel thing or whatever it had in it, and I stuffed a 3.5 litre Rover V8 lump in it.
Oh, my God. Those were the days, my lovely. Those were the days.
Well, we couldn't connect it to the 4-wheel drive, so it was only 2-wheel drive in the rear.
Fucking you're Jesus.
Yeah, you couldn't get out of third gear and go around a corner fast because the fucking thing would tip over. You had to anticipate when you wanted to stop it because it had all the original drum brakes on it.
You were asking for trouble then, love.
Oh, I always was back then, believe me. Yeah, you could buy a dye scar, but the detector kit does pick that up now with the one they were using. I always wanted to dye it blue because that would really fucking confuse them, but it's the chemical makeup that they use now. No, I very much doubt it, Moo. There never was a diesel Mini. All the Minis had the A series, and in later years, the B series engines in them. But, I mean, these people that are running diesel on chip fat, you can process it at home. It doesn't take a lot. It's only filtering it a few times. Literally, that is all you do. But the smell must be horrendous.
You keep it, honey.
But, people come up with these ideas. I mean, you think during the war, a lot of cars were run on coal gas. They had the old balloon bag on the back or the top, and they were run on coal gas during the war to save fuel. She put we're the 3-wheeler car.
Oh, a plastic pig.
Yeah, the Reliant Robin with its little 850 engine in it.
Oh, yes, sir. I can see her driving that.
We used to bang a race them years ago. They still do it. They race them on the ovals. There's videos of them on YouTube.
Hey, God, you're so darling, new career.
Oh, you see people rolling them and pushing them back out on the wheels out the window like they carry them.
Well, Clarkson said they roll them very easy.
Yeah.
Superbly.
So the old joke used to be, you're more likely to die in a Reliant Robin. They said, what, of the impact? I said, no, of asbestosis afterwards. Because they're all fiberglass bodies.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, but we had all sorts of fun and games with them on the oval tracks. There was a guy tried to fit a Rover Ford V6 3 litre in one. One had all the running gear and the engine out of a bomb bug. There was one had a Marina engine in it, a 1300 Marina engine in it. We had a couple of vans that were all decked out and done up like police cars and fire engines, complete with ladders and fucking lights. And because it was just classed back then as three-wheeler racing, you could race anything with 3 wheels. You had people that would rip the back suspension off of a Mini and put a mount in the middle, so you only had one wheel on the back. They used to let them in.
Ooh.
Invalid carriages. Do you remember the Invicars? The old blue ones? They used to race them.
Fucking nutters.
Peter Sellers spent £2,600, the equivalent of £43,500, having a bespoke Mini Cooper fitted out with all the luxurious interior.
Yeah, had all the quilted leather.
Mahogany dashboard,
yeah.
reclining leather seats, electric windows.
Oh.
He started out with the Cooper, so he would probably have started with the Cooper S, I would have thought, but it doesn't say anything about changing.
I think wasn't it a yellow one or something?
It looks bright, but looks
Sort
like
of
it's
gold.
a brown one.
Yeah, yellow gold or something
Brown
like that. I think
with
it
a
was.
tan roof.
Yeah, I remember that one. My mate had a Robin.
Yeah, the 1964 Cooper S DeVille, owned by Peter Sellers.
I'll tell you what, I only ever driven one once on the road, Moo, and it's not an experience I'd like to do again. But we've got a bloke, I haven't seen it about for a while actually, used to come past the hospital, and he had one of the very, very early ones, which had a tiny little, I think it was a 252-stroke motorbike engine in them. And he used to quite happily come plodding past the hospital, clouds of blue smoke behind him. You know?
I had a Mini. It was a yellow one with a white roof. Mini City.
I used to race Minis, Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of mine was
classic.
I had 2 friends that were like men, 6'3", 6'4", built like a shit house, and they drove Minis. Watching them get in and out was amusing.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
It really was amusing.
Oh, bless.
But it was their other transport, because normally they were on a bike.
Oh,
Not in there. And not in there. So I'm just trying to find something here. What did I just look? That one, wasn't it? Oh, there we go.
No love.
Boom, 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 boom.
What are
Come
you
on, put a
looking
picture
for,
up.
my
There
lover?
we go. No, I used to race Minis on the circuit, but my favourite one used to be on the dirt. And I knew it was on here somewhere. That was one of my old dirt Minis with the rally tyres on it. And that one was fitted, I think that was the 1850 Maxi engine I had in it, because I moved the radiator down to the front. Full proper roll cage. The grill there was when you were on the dirt tracks. That was just to stop the stones hitting your face and your helmet. Some people used to cover the whole front, but I never used to, because to me, that space there is another exit from the car in another place in an emergency. And if you've got a piece of fucking mesh strapped over that, screwed in, you ain't coming out through it in the event of a fire if you need to. So I never used to cover the whole window. And actually, I think my mum got really pissed off at that point because that rack was actually one of the shelves out of her fridge. It was one of the wire racks that come out the fridge.
Oh,
It was all I could find.
oh, God.
But yeah, I used to enjoy the mini racing on the ovals. It made a change from bangers, for a bit of fun. Because you weren't supposed to hit each other, but as you can see by the dents in it, that there is usually a bit of contact happens.
Of course, your bumper cars.
Hang on, Little Stitch has got a joke to tell us. What did the skeleton order at the pub? Go on then, Little Stitch. Did you paint it red and sell it to Mr. Bean? Mr. Bean's was a yellow one, wasn't it? A sort of yellowy, greeny colour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was yellow. Yeah.
Eh?
What would a Coke and a mop? Oh, Little Stitch.
Fair enough, Little Stitch. The ladder was scary, especially coming up the hill. Yeah, but when you think about it now, you look at how far ladders come, and they're always up there in the ratings, the safety ratings.
Since they were taken over by Skoda.
Yeah.
But it's Skoda that did it, not Lada.
Oh, my mate had an old Skoda, and it was a fucking wreck. And then all of a sudden he turned up and he's got almost a brand new one, the estate, all singing, all dancing. He'd only had it 2 months. He took it out in the snow and somebody scraped all down the side of it.
Whoopsie daisy.
He used to drive like a lunatic anyway. I mean, he's one of these, if he's not going as fast as the car can go in that gear, he's not happy.
Oh, yeah. I have a few men like that in my life.
I'm like that when I used to be on the track, but I've always been a bit more careful on the road.
Oh, excuse me?
My dad.
One accident in how many years?
Excuse me, that wasn't
You've been
what I
called.
wanted to say. Who got my CC up to 100 miles an hour on a motorway in this country?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Was it?
No, it wasn't legal, but it was a new car to us, and I just wanted to see if it had the power to get me out of trouble.
It was mine.
I know it was yours. I wouldn't have done it with mine.
Now, children.
You could have broke my baby.
I left that up to you.
Oh, no. How could you?
Bitch that pulled in front of me.
I mean, that's the best profit I've ever made on a car, to be honest.
It wasn't your profit, it was mine.
Yeah, it was yours, wasn't it? We bought it for $2,000. Nurse wrote it off for us, and we got $3,000 back.
Oh, nice.
How many years did I had it for?
And she'd had it 4 years. It had been up and down to Cumbria, God knows how many times. Daily drive back to forwards to work when she was working full time.
Yeah, that's how much.
We made $1,000 on that one.
That was how much second-hand cars had gone up when getting hold of new ones became an issue.
Yeah, but we bought it for a song anyway.
Oh yeah, it should have been 4 and I got it for 2. Nobody else wanted to buy a convertible in January. Me, I took the kids out and put the top down. 10 degrees. And we've got the top down, scarves on, heater full blast. And the kids are going, hey! Like they're at the fair. Love this.
Why not? It was an experience, love.
We had to go all the way to Cumbria with the fishing rods round her ear roll because they wouldn't fit in anywhere else.
They still don't. Oh. And we've got an estate.
Oh, how could you, Roger?
She took the top down, put the top down for a quick few photographs when we were parked up down by the beach. I jumped in the tree in the driver's seat. Do I look like a hairdresser?
Oh,
But I didn't
Jesus.
like driving it with the top down.
But he wouldn't let me drive it.
It was.
Hate being
Oh.
a passenger.
I'm a bad passenger. I hate being a passenger in a
Hate
car.
being a passenger, but hated driving it with the top down. So the only time I can have the top down is when I was in the car on my own.
Well, it
Oh.
didn't feel solid enough to me because with a soft top, drop top, or a soft top, there's a certain amount of flex in the body because it loses rigidity.
Ooh.
With the hard top, drop top that hers was, the way it
Yeah.
clips, it gives it that a little bit more rigidity over a soft top.
Yeah.
But I just felt it just didn't feel right when I was driving it with the roof down. I have done it. I did do it, but yeah, it wouldn't have been my first choice. But she's always wanted a drop top or a convertible,
please.
and at the time, she had a little bit of inheritance from her mother. We had another car out here as well. I said, well, go and buy your drop top then.
Why
You know,
not? Treat yourself.
We looked around. I picked the Ford over some of the others, the Peugeots and that. Audis were out of our price range. So we went for that, but we got it at the right time of year. It was reduced from 4,200, was it?
I don't know, it was down from 4 to 2.
We gave him $2,000, offered him $2,000 for it, and he took her fucking hands off. And to be honest, we
And delivered it.
and we never had a problem with it really while we owned it. There was a little bit of a problem with an electric connection, but that was only because I'd kicked it with my foot
And unplugged it.
and unplugged the engine. Yeah.
Oh,
But other than that,
yeah.
it was just regular maintenance. Never missed a beat.
Didn't have any expensive repairs.
No expensive repairs.
You got a good deal there then.
Well, the Focus is, it don't matter which model it is. I mean, the Mark 1 was always the best one for handling. It's the best handling Ford I've ever sort of driven from a showroom, as it were. But yeah, they've always been known as the reliable sort of go-to. But we looked at all sorts when we replaced it with this one. And even looked at an ST, one of the high-powered ones, and we ended up with a 1600 estate.
Yeah.
Well, it's more practical for what we want. With Heather, with the grandkids, when we go away, we can get the fishing tackle in. We've got roof bars on it, so the rods can go on the roof, and it kind of made sense.
I can sit in the back.
Yeah, you can sit in the back
because it's a nice level surface. So it's not like you've got to be sat on one of the seats. You've got a platform in which to sit and watch the fishing or put your boots on. Or...
That's it, because it's a full-length tailgate, unlike some. So, you know, the bed of the boot is lower than the middle of your legs, like, you know, middle of your thighs. So she can lift stuff in and out. We did spend one afternoon using it as a seat to watch the fishing rods from the car park.
Here we go again, Bocchininos.
But no, it's a good, we look after it. It's regular serviced. If anything's starting to wear out, we don't wait for it to wear out. You know, it gets replaced.
That's the best way to do it.
Well, the thing is, it's so expensive to replace them now.
I've got a lovely garage that will tell me what will need doing in the next 12 months for MOT, and then maybe something year after where it can see something that's not quite an advisory yet, but it's like this will be doing in the near future.
The lads always, if they see anything that could sort of fail it on the next MOT, as it were, that he won't just give us an advice what he does. He said, well, look, you know, by next time that could probably be replaced. It's
Yeah.
starting to go. It'll be fine. It'll work. It'll pass. But yeah, within a couple of years, it's going to go.
It'll be an advisory next year, and then you will have to do it.
And then we got another lovely friend that, because I can't do a lot of it, does all the work on it for us now.
Brilliant. That's what you need. It's people who you know, dear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used to do it all myself, but, I don't know if I'd even risk crawling under a car now.
Oh, Jesus, don't. No. Oh, please don't.
I do the basic maintenance, the annual stuff like fluids and stuff like that. But
I can top the fluids up.
yeah, but do you know how to drain them? To replace them?
When was the last time you drained anything?
Every bloody car that used to come up the unit, we used to get drained because you know what Sparky is like. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, we'll just drain the fluids. We'll check them. Oh yeah, we'll have a look. We'll bleed the brakes while it's here. He's got an obsession. You bring a car in for something, even if you want it washed, he's got to have a look round. He's got to find a problem that needs fixing. But
I'll go up to Steve and get a cup of tea, and the next thing I know, he's washing the car because it's too dirty. How dare you drive a car in that condition?
well, when I first finished up the hospital, I used to do a few days with him over the unit, because I know about motors anyway. And I used to give him a hand over there, servicing, repairs and shit like that. But yeah, it's another thing the government want to do away. They want to do away with private transport, basically.
Jesus.
That's what they want to do away with.
Ooh, that's going to bugger us all up then.
Yep, that's what they want. But I'm going to call that there, Karen, because I'm losing concentration here.
No worries, I'm boiling over.
Just bought my second Ford Galaxy. Convert to a camper.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, at the moment, Moo, car camping, it's a bit of a fad. It's basically that started up because people were getting moved on with campers and lay-by camping, as it were, and stuff like that. So people started using their cars, laying the seats down, kitting the back out, because you're less likely to get moved on if it's a car rather than a camper. See you, Stitch. Take care, darling. See you, little Stitch. But anyway, I'm sweating buckets here. I'll go turn the lights off, open the window, turn the fan up.
Go for a walk.
Lying down, that's exactly. And I've got to have a cold shower.
Stand out the back in the breeze for
like heaven.
10 minutes or whatever. But as always, Karen, thank you very much for. I'm sorry, I don't put up the camera as much as I used to, but
don't worry, Rob. It's grand. Don't worry. Not a problem. I'll be talking to Stitch on Friday night.
Well, I just tend to do it just like a video premiere, I'm just giving the spiel and people are putting their bit in the chat. But it's nice to open it now and again. But anyway, guys, thank you, Karen, obviously.
Night.
Thank you, everybody else. As always, very respectful. Always appreciated.
Same here, darling.
Tonight. And we will be back to the same back channel at the same back time next week. So with that, as always, it's good night from him.
It's good night from her.
And stay safe.
It's good night from me. Night.
Stay strong. Stay free. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Love you guys. Take care.
And that one. That's